Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated argument with someone you care about. Words are flying, emotions are high, and suddenly you realize you have no idea how to fix this. Sound familiar? Relationships are at the heart of everything we do, yet no one ever taught us how to navigate them. Today, we're diving into the school of life on relationships, uncovering lessons you wish you learned in school but didn't. Let's face it, how many of us remember being taught how to communicate in tough moments? But sure, thank goodness we learned the capital of Mongolia. Priorities, right? Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal the one lesson about relationships that will change how you approach not just others, but yourself. Let's get started. Point 1. Emotional intelligence is everything. Let's start with a big one. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is the ability to understand and manage your emotions while recognizing and responding to the emotions of others. It's what turns an argument into a productive conversation, and what separates thriving relationships from ones that just survive. Without EQ, people often react impulsively, saying things they don't mean, or bottling up feelings until they explode. Sound familiar? A lack of emotional intelligence is one of the biggest relationship blind spots. Here's a fun thought. If emotions were a foreign language, how fluent are you? Do you barely know how to say hello, or are you giving TED Talks in emotional leads? Here's the good news. Like any skill, emotional intelligence can be learned, and the next lesson will take your connections even further. Point 2. Communication is an art, not a skill. Everyone says communication is the key to a good relationship. But what does that really mean? Spoiler, it's not just about talking, it's about how you talk, and more importantly, how you listen. The truth is, most people listen to respond, not to understand. Think about the last time someone really listened to you. No interruptions, no judgments, just pure focus. It felt amazing, right? Now imagine if you could offer that to the people you care about. Of course, let's not confuse listening with being silent. If you're listening, but mentally drafting your grocery list, you might be missing the point. But even the best communicators hit walls if they don't understand the next vital lesson about relationships. Point 3. Boundaries are the secret sauce. Boundaries. This is where so many relationships go off the rails. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out, they're about teaching others how to respect your space, your time, and your energy. When you don't set boundaries, resentment builds like a pressure cooker. Eventually, it explodes, damaging the relationship you were trying to protect. Think of boundaries like a do not disturb sign on your phone. Without it, you'd get constant notifications, and your battery, both literal and emotional, would drain fast. Once your boundaries are solid, you'll notice a shift not only in how others treat you, but in how you treat yourself. And that brings us to the next lesson. Point 4. Self-awareness is non-negotiable. The most overlooked relationship is the one you have with yourself. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of every successful connection because it helps you understand what you bring to the table and what you take away from it. Self-aware people thrive in relationships because they understand their triggers, needs, and values. They don't rely on others to fill emotional gaps. They do the work themselves. When was the last time you truly reflected on your behavior in a relationship? Are you proud of the role you're playing, or do you sense there's room to grow? Speaking of growth, the final lesson ties all of this together, creating a foundation for every relationship in your life. Point 5. Relationships are investments. Here's the ultimate truth. Relationships are like financial investments. They require time, effort, and care to grow. The better you understand their value, the more intentional you become about where you spend your energy. Every interaction you have, whether with a partner, friend, or colleague, is a chance to either build wealth in your relationships or create debt. The question is, are you making deposits or withdrawals? And just like with real investments, if someone's draining your account without contributing back, it's time to check their credit score. Now, let's wrap this up with a life-changing realization about the power of relationships. Relationships are the ultimate currency of life. Whether personal or professional, they shape every experience we have. By mastering emotional intelligence, communication, boundaries, self-awareness, and the art of investment, you're not just building stronger connections, you're creating a foundation for success. If this video resonated with you, there's one more lesson you need to learn: how to overcome fear of failure in your personal growth journey. Click here to watch my video on how to overcome fear of failure and take your relationships and life to the next level. Because the most valuable education doesn't come from a classroom, it comes from the school of life.